China, industrial powerhouse and urban giant. But beyond the familiar images of bristling skylines and busy streets is a different China. This is a land of extremes, a land of great natural beauty, a land where resourceful people have built extraordinary lives against the odds. The hunters, the gatherers, and the craftsmen of China. On this journey of discovery, we plunge deep into a remarkable, mysterious and hidden world. Get ready to enter Secret China. In this episode of Secret China, we journey to the outer edges of this vast nation and discover people still living China's ancient skills and traditions. Across 4 remote communities, we find a new generation, picking up the baton from the one before, hoping to ensure their way of life still endures in the 21st century. But it isn't easy. In Sichuan, the woodsmen of the biggest ancient bamboo forest still remaining in China try to balance new ways of making a living with maintaining the tranquil rhythms of the forest. At China's northernmost tip, a Mongolian herdsman struggles through another ferocious winter on this harsh and stunning landscape, eager to live a life worthy of his people's warrior past. In Zhejiang province, meet the last of the silkworm cultivators, who lovingly produces silk thread in a way that's barely changed here for at least 1,000 years. Hainan Island, off the southeast coast of China, home to over 8 million people. Along its 1,200 kilometers of coastline, life hums with a bustling fishing industry which feeds vibrant markets. Tourists flock here for the stunning beaches and tropical climate. But Hainan has a hidden side. Head deep into the mountains and forests of its center, and there are isolated villages, like this one, Qianlong, home to a community of ethnic Miao people. Despite the modern buildings and clothing, this is a community steeped in traditions that date back more than 2,000 years. Miao people are famed for their ability to hunt and to survive on the fruits of South China's tropical forests. Today, 13-year-old Jiala is learning the art of the crossbow from his grandfather, the village chief, Lao Dong.
左手就拿这里，右手就拿这里，就放箭，就放这个箭就放这里，标准去对那个靶里面。
Lao Dong makes simple traditional bows which are very powerful in the right hands. Jiala will need to be accurate because the main prey the Miao people in this region hunt are small, quick, and elusive. Jiala and his friends are keen to head off on their own hunting trip. So Lao Dong gathers them together to teach them how to make another legendary Miao hunting device. He's using bamboo from the surrounding forest to fashion an ingenious trap for catching small prey.
这个是要搞真正的沙的泥巴里面，就搞这个第三就搞这个，就是就搞这个就可以了嘛，就全部都搞好了嘛，就这样装是这样装的，老人都这样搞，我们住在山上就这样搞装老鼠的。
Qianlong village is one of a cluster in central Hainan, home to 60,000 Miao people, descendants of those who migrated to the island in the 1500s. Those first settlers brought with them hunting traditions which Lao Dong inherited and now seeks to pass on to the next generation.
那个老鼠这样装好了，老鼠都从这边来就过来。 这样就夹到它了，看到没有？到。这样了，跳过来，它这样就夹到它。
With the lesson over, the youngsters are eager to put their weapons to the test, away from the gaze of adults. But their mouse prey is very shy. They know the best place to find them is in the dark crevices and caves high in the limestone ridge that looms over the village. But before the kids get to hunt, they face a perilous climb up through this dense jungle landscape. A 1,000 kilometers northwest of Hainan Island, in Sichuan province, is Zhuhai, a place unique in China. From above, this looks like any forest, but look a little closer. And it becomes clear this is something special. It's the largest natural bamboo forest in the country. The Hainan Bamboo Sea. It's December, and the damp, cool winter hangs in the air. But the forest does not lie silent. For almost 3,000 years, bamboo has sustained the villagers here, providing a myriad of livelihoods. Guan Yongkang and his son Jun spend their winters felling the mature moso bamboo plants that soar more than 30 meters high and grow at a staggering 10 centimeters per day.
时我们在好像5、6岁、6、7岁的时候，那个时候在家做饭了，就要做饭了，他们就出去，砍竹子、运竹子，就是这样的。然后我们在家里做饭也很有记忆的，出去很早，回来很晚。
The Guan family are responsible for a section of forest they've been allocated on a 30-year cycle. They cut bamboo that's more than 5 years old, and so is solid enough to be used in building and to be fashioned into furniture. Mountainous Sichuan province suffers strong earthquakes. Maintaining the bamboo forest, which stabilizes the hillsides, is very important. Moso, or tortoise-shell bamboo, is particularly special. It has great tensile strength, making it perfect for building. It also produces a culinary delicacy. From October to December, bamboo sprout new shoots under the soil. These large, juicy shoots are the basis for the region's signature dish. They're never easy to find, but Yungkang has a practiced eye. He's looking for bamboos between 1 and 2 years old, because they produce the most succulent shoots.
有没有绳子？你看这根叶子好的，它就有绳子，然后你在下边，然后按照它的方位，这个头，然后把它找到了。好吧，我们找吧。
First, Yungkang needs to work out where the roots from this young tree run. New shoots sprout from the healthiest roots. Yungkang thinks he's found a promising one, a bright green root.
你看这个边就是长笋子的，你看它很清秀，然后走过来，你看，也许它就有绳子，你挨着的过来啊。你看这里就有一根绳子，但是一般的话你是看不了的，你要不这样给把它刨开或者土高挖开，你是看不着它的。
Next, he works delicately to expose the sprouting shoot. Then, carefully pops it from the root. They found a fertile area to dig, but the first few shoots are smaller than the 1 kilogram size they're looking for. Eventually, their persistence pays off, and they unearth a prize shoot to add to today's modest harvest. In days gone by, Yungkang would have toiled under a daily pressure to keep his basket full of shoots to sell on and provide for his family. But times are changing in the bamboo sea. His son, Jun, is keen to pioneer new ways to make bamboo pay the bills. Even though this could change the life of their forest community forever. Travel north to Hainan Island, one of Inner Mongolia's great wild prairies. This is a place of stark majesty, famed for its vibrant green grasslands in summer. But in December, the low winter sun struggles to drive the mercury higher than -30 degrees. The nomadic herders who roam this land with their sheep, cattle and horses must do so year-round. 27-year-old shepherd Helen Batar is preparing his camel for another grueling day. Like every day, he's heading onto the plains to feed his flock of sheep with hay he stockpiled in the summer months. Helen has lived his whole life travelling these prairies because he's one of the region's ancient Hulan bear herdsmen. His flock of sheep have been huddled together throughout the night, their thick coats and large fat stores keeping them warm in this harsh climate. This year, Helen has worked hard to keep feed stocks high, because last year's bitter winter saw temperatures of minus 50 degrees drive his flock to the brink.
Сасны гүний хэмжээ бол 40-оос 50 см төржээ. Тэр бүр явд ийлэхгүй. Марти хүн бас арай явж ижээ. Надн бордоо дутагта бордоо үн ороод бүр нэг болт бордоо бүр 70-80 төгрөг болж эргээд хамгийн сүүлдээ бүр жоосоо бариад бордоо гэртээ авч шатахгүй хэмжээнд хүржээ. Бас ийм надн бол бордоо дутагдаад 3-4 өдөр бордоо дутагдаж хон бол бие нэг нааси зулгах хэмжээнд хүржээ бүрээ.
Helen grew up in a yurt where his mother still lives. These incredible tents are perfect for the nomadic life of the herdsmen of the steppes. Made of felt, stretched over light wooden slats, they can be put up or taken down in less than an hour. Helen's wife, Eon, is here to help his mother cook. Meat stays fresh for a long time when you essentially live in a huge freezer. Eon, too, grew up here. But unlike Helen, she hasn't spent her life migrating across the prairies. She still feels the pull of this incredible landscape, though.
Хөдөө гарах их туртай хөдөө амьдрий гэж баях бодог. Өөрөө яг бараг хүн шин багасаа бас хөдөө байжжээ. Яг сургуульд ороогүй өмнө бүр хөдөө авахшаа дагаад энэ хөдөөний ажилд их дуртай. Бас их хөдөө нутаг гэсээр бүр дотор гой санагддаг штэ. Та нутгаа их хайрл сандага.
Since she married Helen, Eon has divided her time between the prairies and her life as a teacher in town.
Их таати санагдаа нэг гарагтаа игээд ажиллаад ядрахтаа хаяанаг игээд хөдөө гарах их сайхан санагддаг ш та. Тэгээд хөдөө гарах их дуртай.
But this winter there is little comfort here for Helen. It's warmer than last year, but there has been so little snow he's got a new problem. There's simply not enough for his animals to drink. Head out in search of fresh water, just to keep his flocks alive. Village in the heart of Hainan Island, 13-year-old Jiala and his friends are adventuring into the wild, rocky forests behind their village to hunt. They're armed with traps and crossbows made from bamboo, exactly the same way their Miao ancestors did. this path only carries them so far. Their ultimate destination towers above them. And there's only one way to get there. Up a precarious ladder of ancient tree roots that cling on to soil in the cliff's cracks. Waiting for them at the summit is a beautiful jagged outcrop of weathered limestone known as a stone forest. The rock was formed more than 250 million years ago when the land lay below a shallow tropical ocean. Then, once exposed to the atmosphere, water attacked the natural straight faults in the surface, creating huge pillars of sharp rock, separated by deep gullies. Beyond the stone forest are the gullies, which the children know are their perfect hunting ground. If they can just find the holes where mice like to hide.
哇，我看见这个老鼠洞，哪个夹过来？啊，我也看到一个。
Remembering his grandfather's instructions to push the bamboo spike deep into the earth, Giala delicately positions and then primes the trap. By hunting this way, the four children are following in the footsteps of dozens of generations of Miao people. Now they must wait and see what their traps will catch. In Zhejiang province in eastern China lies the old town of Nanshun. Elegant buildings and bridges hint at the bygone prosperity this 700-year-old town forged on the back of one of China's most exquisite creations, silk. First spun and woven in this region nearly 5,000 years ago, Chinese silk was worn by Roman aristocrats and Persian royalty. It continues to dazzle as one of China's great exports. From Beijing to London, catwalks shimmer with the latest silk couture. Despite a raw cost 20 times that of cotton, designers from around the world love to work with this uniquely delicate material. 125,000 tons of silk are produced every year, 2/3 of which are made in China. But Nanshun's glory days as a silk powerhouse are on the wane. 69-year-old Gu Mingqi is one of the last of the silkworm farmers who still preserves the tradition that built Nanshu. It's May, and Gu's busiest week of the year. Helped by his daughter-in-law, Yung Yan, Gu is tending to his farm of 30,000 extraordinary creatures. An army of silkworms. These tiny creatures single-handedly power a global industry. Any day now, the silkworms, which are in fact the caterpillar of the silk moth, will bed down and spin themselves a silk cocoon and deliver Gu his harvest for the year. Each day, these eating machines consume their own body weight in mulberry leaves. They'll die if they eat anything else. So Gu is kept busy travelling twice a day to harvest fresh leaves to feed his army. Sericulture, or the cultivation of silkworms, has remained broadly the same throughout its 5,000-year history. And that includes the farmers' daily forages into their mulberry bushes to gather fresh food. The leaves are transported still on their branches to keep them in the freshest possible condition on the journey back. Keeping silkworms fed is one thing, but Gu's real skill is his ability to judge exactly when they're ready to cocoon. Back at the farm, Gu heads in to check up on this year's crop of caterpillars as they near maturity. They're turning whiter in shade, the sign Gu has been waiting for.
这个咱明天上山了，明天下午过来上山，这个脚已经通了。
50 years as a breeder has honed Gu's instinct for knowing exactly when to transfer the worms, so the next crucial stage in their evolution can take place. Tonight, though, he's worried. The temperature is dropping fast. Silkworms are delicate, and a sudden cold snap could be fatal. Back in China's biggest ancient bamboo forest, Sichuan's Hainan Bamboo Sea, forester's son Guan Jun is getting involved in what could be bamboo's most lucrative use of all. When tourists come to this unique forest, they often want to take a little part of it home. The root balls of the bamboo plants can be carved into highly unusual sculptures if they have the right shape. Guan Jun searches out the best from the forest, cleans them carefully, and then sells them to local sculptors. Guan Yongjun is one of the best, with over 20 years' experience in this skilled art.
稍不注意就挖坏了，把这些根或者挖坏了或者盘断了，就会失去那个雕刻出来的效果。
His finest sculptures sell for up to $500 US. When summer comes, it will take its place on one of the village market stalls, tempting tourists with displays of stunning craftsmanship.
现在从这个旅游开发以后，现在我们就有的搞了个农家乐，有的就刻这个竹根雕，就是卖了个旅游工艺品。现在这个生活方式都改变过来了。
At the Guan family home, built from bamboo, of course, Jun is getting ready to cook one of his famous bamboo feasts.
这个提得好，我提这个。哎呦。
The succulent bamboo shoot is fried and forms the centerpiece of a banquet of local meat and vegetables. Cooking a feast like this is good practice for the summer months, when the Hainan Bamboo Sea welcomes thousands of visitors. Juan has ensured his family benefits from the money visitors bring by converting their home into a tourist guest house. To Juan, it doesn't make sense to rely on bamboo forestry. Tourism offers a better way to make money.
他们以前完全是依靠这个竹子，现在发展旅游了，这个就不一样了。旅游是另外增加的收入，那个竹笋照挖、竹子照砍，然后旅游收入是另外一部分，而且还高得多。
Tourism is bringing prosperity to the people who once lived lost in the bamboo sea. But they also know that the forest must continue to be cultivated in the traditional way to maintain what's so special about this, the largest ancient bamboo forest left in China. Silent, swaying bamboo looks the way it does because of the way it has always been cultivated. Their skills as foresters will be needed long into the future. Back on the unforgiving wilderness of the inner Mongolian prairie, herder Hainan Batar is caught in the grip of a cold, dry winter. Although a traditional Hulan bear herdsman, he relies on some modern technology to help with the constant battle to nurse livestock through the freezing cold. This year, very little snow has fallen, so Hainan urgently needs to get water for his animals. He's relying on an innovative but physically demanding solution. Collecting freshwater ice from a frozen river. The winters in Inner Mongolia are so dry and sunny because of a fearsome weather system called the Siberian High. Every autumn, a huge high-pressure cell develops over Siberia, which drags a vast, stubborn swathe of freezing dry air over the entire region. Cloudless skies make for freezing, arid conditions. And this year is exceptionally tough. Hainan and his mother dig out the purest ice from below the river surface. Their aim? To collect enough blocks on today's trip to last their animals for 7 days. Back at the pasture, Hainan has heated the ice to provide fresh drinking water. Hailin's thoughts can now turn to a big day for his family. A few miles across the plains, a wrestling competition is underway, in which Hailin's brother, Unabat, will fight. Herlin and his wife wear their traditional dress to attend today's Nadam festival, a sporting event with deep roots in Mongolian culture. The strongest local men pit themselves against each other in a unique brand of wrestling, dating back at least to the time of the great warrior Genghis Khan. Unabat has a reputation as a fearsome fighter, but he's nursing an injured finger, leaving his chance of victory hanging by a thread. A new day dawns over the tropical interior of Hainan Island. Yesterday, 13-year-old Jiala and his friends laid ingenious bamboo traps in the stone gullies behind their village. Now it's time to head back into the forest. To discover if they've learned how to hunt like true meow. Three of the 4 traps have worked. They've caught 3 mice in their bamboo traps. But Jiala is itching to try the crossbow his grandfather made him. He spots a move in the undergrowth. His training pays off, adding 1 more mouse to their haul. Around the campfire, Jiala and his friends enjoy the spoils of the day. Modern life has brought these children urban clothes, modern houses, and education. But days like today serve to remind them of what makes them meow people. Their heritage as hunters and gatherers, able to live entirely off the rugged landscape of tropical China, lives on. In Zhejiang province, last of the traditional silkworm farmers, Gu Mingqi, is getting ready for harvest. Last night, he left his 30,000 silkworms on their trays for their final night of maturing. Despite a dip in temperatures overnight, the caterpillars look healthy. And Gu is convinced that today is the day the worms will start to spin their silk cocoons. How this process unfolds is incredible. First, Gu prepares the floor with a bed of straw where spinning will take place. With so many caterpillars to move by hand, it's a job that keeps the family busy for hours.
谢。行，就这样好了，好的。
With the silkworms scattered on the floor, Gu fashions straw structures which mimic the best natural environment for the worms to spin, exactly as silkworm cultivators have done for thousands of years. The caterpillars get to work, secreting protein-rich liquid from a large gland, which hardens into silk thread on contact with the air. Finally, in a mesmerizing feat of nature, they spin a tight cocoon in which they would metamorphose into a silk moth if left alone. Over the next few days, the straw bed becomes a forest of cocoons. But Gu won't let the silkworms inside complete the transformation that they've started. Retrieving the silk requires immense skill. The cocoons are placed in hot water, which loosens the delicate silk strands. They're just 10 micrometers in diameter. That's 1/10 of the thickness of a human hair. Now Yungyan can spin the delicate 1 kilometer long silk thread from each cocoon onto a spinning wheel. She combines 10 strands at a time to make thread strong enough to weave. This painstaking process requires 6,000 cocoons to produce each kilogram of raw silk. Silkworm breeding does not make Gu rich, like his ancestors who built Nanshun. The last of the silkworm cultivators will be lucky to make more than $300 for this year's harvest. But it's not about the money for him. For half a century, Gu has repeated this process every silkworm season, helping preserve the heritage of a true Chinese icon. Two and a half thousand kilometers to the north, on the grasslands of Ulaanbaatar in Inner Mongolia, a crowd has gathered in sub-zero temperatures to enjoy a Naadam festival. Men from across the prairies are here to compete in a wrestling tournament. Herdsman Hainan Island and his wife are here to support his brother Unabat, who's one of the favorites to win today's competition. Naadam festivals celebrate the great Mongol warrior Genghis Khan, who used wrestling to ensure his men remained battle-ready. Ulaanbaatar wrestling has an extra violent twist, where fighters are permitted to kick each other's legs whilst attempting to win via throws to the ground. It's time for Unabat's first bout. The wrestlers bound into the arena following a tradition where they mimic prancing tigers. He's about to find out whether his injured finger will stand up to the rigors of competition. Unabat soon takes the upper hand and easily throws his opponent to the ground. The next contest is tougher. But Unabat's strength and technique carry him through to a semi-final. With his brother nervously watching on, he tackles one of the other tournament favourites. Bouts can last an hour. But this one is over quickly. In the end, Unabat finishes third overall. As the weak winter sun calls time on another day on the Hainan Bear Prairie, Herlin returns to his animals. On horseback, in the vast expanse of Mongolian grasslands, he's carrying on a tradition that stretches back at least to the time of the Huns in the 6th century. It's a tough way of life, but one he's desperate not to let go of. Across China, millions continue to value their ancient heritage. In the mountains of the south, Miao minority children are still eager to learn to hunt the way their ancestors did. In the beautiful medieval towns of eastern China, silkworm cultivators tenaciously preserve knowledge that might otherwise be lost. While in the bamboo sea of Sichuan, traditional foresters protect a unique ecosystem. Away from the beating heart of modern China's bustling cities, a secret world still endures, shaped by rugged landscapes and the people who inhabit them.